Welcome back to Swangard Stadium for match week 6 of the men's division of League 1 BC as the TSS Rovers take on Rivers FC here this afternoon after the women dispatched the women's side of Rivers FC 5-4. Let's look at the lineups for both these teams. First with the visiting Rivers FC after a 7-0 loss to the hands of Unity last Sunday in Chilliwack. They go with Olivier Jumeau in goal. Number 2, their captain, Jan Paredes. Number 5, Elijah Dos Santos. Number 6, Domenico Comita. Number 7, Dylan Hooper. Number 8, Mikael Rosenlund. Number 10, Alessandro Comita, the brother of Domenico. Number 11, Jos Hausendorf. Number 12, Jonathan Rinaldi. Number 15, Marcus Scott. Number 21, Marco Favreau as well. And for TSS, they make 4 changes from the game against the Whitecaps. A 1-0 loss, their second loss of the season. And Justin Sandy retains his place in goal. Keji Adini gets a start up front as the sole striker. Ali Zohar, Carter McMillan, Ivan Mahay through the midfield, along with Eric Edwardson, Kyle Jones, Tyler Dillon, Nasib Baines, and Nico Papakriakopoulos here today. Big one again for the Rovers as they continue this strong homestand and big homestand as well against a Rivers team here that will be hungry after that loss to Unity last weekend in Chilliwack at Exhibition Stadium. A 7-0 win as mentioned for Mike Sheeran's Unity FC. As Rivers will be kicking off here in the white with the black jersey numbers, the orange shorts and orange socks. Rovers in the all black with the white jersey numbers here, looking to continue what the women just did against a Rivers women's side as well.
Yeah, I think if we get another 9-goal game in this, the fans will certainly go home happy. Not sure about my photographer, Tom Iwaziak, residual image. He photographed 8 goals on Wednesday, 9 goals last night, 9 in this first game. He's got like shutter finger at the moment.
Rovers moving left to right, and Rivers FC right to left. Sorry, Rovers right to left and Rivers left to right here on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. Josh Shuving is your man in the middle here. Used to giving a lot of cards, so we'll see how that plays out today. Assistant referee Eric Dentos and Francisco Scaglione, and fourth official is Amar Ramick here on a fantastic day from Swangard.
And you feel this is a must-win game for both of these sides, really, if they want to be in the playoff picture. TSS Rovers, of course, not just thinking about the playoff picture. They want to top the standings. They want to get back to the Canadian Championship, and it's only their regular season winner that is going to be able to do that. Both these teams go into this one having played 5 games, having 7 points to show for it, identical 2-1-2 records. I mean, even their goals are very similar. 7 for Rivers, 8 for TSS. TSS, though, Gideon, only given up 2 goals all season. Sadly, both of those goals given up in 1-0 defeats. And you do wonder, that defeat against the Whitecaps last Sunday, how important is that going to be in the grand scheme of things? Not just for the playoffs, but also for that Canadian Championship spot.
Edwardson gets past 2 Rivers players. And a free kick here for Rivers after Edwardson pulled at Jan Paredes. Free kick for Olivier Jumeau to the left of his 18 there.
Rivers coming into this on the back of a 7-0 shellacking as they travelled to Chilliwack to play Unity last Sunday. And you want to see how they're going to bounce back from that this afternoon. But that was a defence that was leaking like a sieve. And TSS Rovers are going to want to try and punish that. TSS Rovers, though, it's been such a weird season for them. They've had their games where they've played well. They've had the matches where they've scored 4 goals in back-to-back games, but then they've been blanked as well a couple of times, in fact 3 times over this season. So it's like feast or famine for this TSS Rovers team at times.
Elijah Dos Santos, who was with TSS for a little bit, then jumping ship to Rivers FC just before the season began. Played to the outside by Dylan Hooper. For Mikael Rosenlund, the big left back, now Hooper. Going to find Domenico Comita in the midfield. Comita trying to get there, bumped off the ball by Jones. Still Comita right at Sandu. Good chance there, and a very feisty, aggressive Rivers team right off the hop here as Alessandro Comita struck that one well.
Yeah, I think that defeat on Sunday really stung. to give up 7 goals in any game is always going to hurt. And you want to bounce back, and you want to see how you bounce back. Looking at their opponents on Sunday, Unity, TSS handed out a 4-0 thrashing to them a couple of weeks ago, and they've come back with big wins over Notsamat, where they put up 5 goals and they've put up 7 against Unity to get themselves right in the playoff picture.
Zohar lost that ball in a bad area, and an attempt from distance trying to test Sandu. And
that was optimistic.
Yep.
Let's put it that way. Let's be nice about that. Eamon Samadine there. Very interesting player from Accra in Ghana. Made the move to Canada, has played his college football with Douglas College Royals.
I had him as listed as a sub, so my apologies. So Favre on the bench. It is Samadine who's starting. So here's Mejia for TSS.
Samadine, the joint leading scorer for Rivers this season. 2 goals for him, 2 goals for Finn Marshall, who I thought might have got the nod to start this one, but hasn't.
Edwardson for Baines, and a poor touch there from Nasib Baines, who's getting his first start of the season. It wasn't even on the bench last week against the Whitecaps, neither was Adni.
It's so tough, though, for TSS right now because they've got such a big roster. They've got so many guys worthy of not just a place in the matchday squad, but actually of starting games. And then they've got to juggle the under-23 rules. They have to have a couple of under-19 players on the bench. Certainly makes Darren Rusher's job all the harder for not just selecting a starting 11, but trying to keep all the players happy as well.
Mejia can't keep this ball in here. Throwing for Rivers FC.
Ivan Mejia having an absolutely fantastic season for TSS Rovers. You feel he's one of these players that's ready to make the next jump. Any day now, he could just walk into a CPL side, I feel.
Throwing coming up here for Domenico Comita.
Both the Comita brothers playing in this one.
2 very good players as well.
Yeah, watched Alessandro a lot as he's come through the Whitecaps Academy. He was playing League 1 with the Whitecaps under-19 side last year. Had a good showing with them. Joining his brother at the Wolfpack this season, and what a rookie season. You win the U Sports Championship for the first time. Alessandro Comita getting the goal 10 minutes into extra time that put the Wolfpack ahead.
Good running by Dylan Hooper, trying to cut it back across just over the goal there of Sanu, and all the way out for a throw-in here for Rovers in the 6th minute.
That championship win for the Wolfpack. Hard for us as UBC guys to watch them win it, but you're also happy for them as well, and happy for John Antilov and all the players there. And it was some day for the Comita brothers, as I mentioned, Alessandro getting the opening goal, Domenico getting the penalty that won the game for them in the shootout.
Lots of space for Edwardson. Zohar, a poor ball there, and a tough start here for TSS.
That's unlike Ali Zohar. You don't see him give away the ball cheaply like that. Rivers, though, not able to punish it and actually forced way back into their half.
4 by Elijah Dos Santos for Samadine, and now Joost Hausendorf.
He's an imposing figure, Samadine, 6'4", and looks every inch of that.
Marcus Scott for Comita. That's Domenico.
I mean, look at him against Tyler Dillon. Tyler Dillon looks so small and thin compared against him. It's like a complete mismatch out there.
One of the days we're glad we're up here, not down on the pitch, especially with the heat about to 24 degrees here.
Yeah, I went down between the games to chat to Chelsea Hannison. Check out that chat on AFTN Canada's YouTube channel, probably tomorrow now. Talked her off the ledge. It's all good.
Here's Dillon.
But yeah, it was very, very warm down there. They took the tents away, which I was very surprised by. I thought they were bringing something else out, but it would appear that the men happy to sit in the open air. As a follically challenged person, that's not something I really enjoy.
Paredes towards half. Up there was Baines in a firm challenge. Now Jones for Adeni. Jones trying to win that second ball, and a foul there. That's going to be a yellow card for Kyle
card
Jones.
Early there for Kyle Jones. You talked about the referee, a player that likes to book, and he's gone to his pocket super early in this one. Just 8 minutes gone. That's the first booking of the game to Kyle Jones.
Yellow card caution to TSS Rovers number 13.
It was a pretty wild challenge, so maybe not too many complaints about it. I will anyway, though.
Here's Dos Santos with the free kick.
Player that was on the TSS books at the start of the season. Things didn't quite work out for him here. Made the move back to Rivers.
Marcus Scott now for Hooper, who's got a lot of technical ability on the left side. Makes a move, tries to play it back into the 6. Just out of the reach of Hausendorf. Now Kamita on the near side. It's Domenico Kamita. Lovely ball into the back post for Hausendorf. Now finds Hooper. Hooper back towards Hausendorf. Nudge off the ball by Jones, head to hand. And it'll be a free kick here for TSS.
You've got to watch with that, nudging players off the ball as it comes in. Talk about mismatched sizes. Try saying that. I did. I didn't do
nail
very
it.
well, no. But this is a bit of a slow start by TSS. Rivers certainly looked the better of the two teams through the first 10 minutes.
They try to make a move on Domenico Kamita. Nice move by Hausendorf, and tries to find a Rinaldi. Dogged determination midfield as always by number 12, Jonathan Rinaldi. Now here's Dylan for Baines.
Adeniyi not able to get on that. Big chance here for Kiji Adeniyi. Winning a free kick though as he was pushed off the ball there. Adeniyi leading the line for TSS. Masood Habibullah out with a injury at the moment. We hope to welcome him back for the next game against Altitude.
He'll be up for that one, wouldn't he, next Sunday?
Yeah, his old team going back to that. And the next 2 games for TSS are a home and away series against Altitude. And with all respect to Altitude, I also do the commentary for them. That's 2 games that TSS have to be looking at and thinking 6 points. Altitude struggling to start the season on the male side this year. Another slow start for them. What a ball that is.
Nicely done by Alessandro Kamita, finding Dylan Hooper one-on-one here against the C. Baines. Hooper to the outside, lovely laid in for Summonine and Kamita. That was Alessandro, now Rinaldi from distance. Up in the air by the C. Baines. Now Alessandro Kamita gets on the inside of Tyler Dillon, and a lovely goal from Domenico Kamita. Make that Alessandro Kamita. Places it home past Sandu in the 11th, and the visitors have to lead.
Fantastic finish there from the Whitecaps alumni. Great strike. I mean, he did everything he needed to do, got the ball played down to him, pushed off to make some room for himself, and lashed one past Justin Sandu there. And you have to say from the start the Rivers have had, it's kind of deserved. They've dictated the play in this one. They've come out hungry and they've bounced back big time from that big defeat last weekend. And TSS, a lot of work to do now in a game which they simply cannot afford to lose.
Away by Elijah Dos Santos. Back for Sandu off the chest. Confident touch there. Here's Smichenko.
Second goal of the season now as well for Alessandro Kamita. He scored the opener against Altitude a couple of weeks ago.
Lovely ball from Papakrikopoulos there. Adzani with a touchback for Zohar. Now Edwardson. Overlapping run from McMillan. Edwardson clips it in back post for Adzani. Just out of his reach there. Just about a quick response from the hosts.
A slow, sleepy start from TSS, and they've been punished for it. As we said at the start of the broadcast, these teams level in points, same record. 2 wins, 1 draw, 2 defeats. It's a game that both teams really need to take something from, and from TSS's point of view, they're targeting getting wins at home, but it's not really been coming for them. It's been very up and down so far. This their 5th of their 7 games, only 2 more home games to come for them before Swangard undergoes some track renovations during July and August, making the stadium unavailable to both them and Whitecaps too.
Nice move from Papakriakopoulos, cuts it back in. Off the foot there of Marcus Scott, who put a foot wrong the first time in this game in the 14th.
TSS went down to an early goal against the Whitecaps last weekend, and that proved to be the only goal of the game and a 1-0 win for the young Caps.
Just the 3rd goal conceded in 6 games this year for the Rovers. Is that one towards Smichenko, and away another corner, this time on the far side for TSS.
Yeah, we talked about their good defensive play so far, and they've been blown open in the opening 10 minutes of this one.
Jones for Mejia. Jones on that tricky left foot, looking to the back post for Smichenko. Too long on that one. And a goal kick coming up from Olivier Gimeau here. 15th. Jan Paredes now from his own 18-yard box. Up for Rinaldi. Right back to Zohar, though. McMillan. It's better from the Rovers here, holding some possession. It's what we saw against Unity in that 4-0 drubbing. It's Habibullah had a pair in that game for TSS. As did Ivan Mejia. Papakriakopoulos now for Zohar in midfield.
Another one that Zohar
tackle.
Let's get away from him.
Hooper now finding Domenico Comita, the goal scorer. Trying to get into the Rovers 18 out wide for Hausendorf, and right at the hands there of Sandu. A lot of running for Hausendorf, who couldn't play last year due to an ACL injury, was actually the coach of the women's team for some of the season. Now playing as a right winger for Rivers FC and TRU Wolfpack.
From Hamburg in Germany, has played semi-pro over in Germany as well with TSV Sassel in the Oberliga Hamburg. Interesting thing I found out about him as well is he started a website called Ambitious Athletes that's going to help German athletes apply for North American scholarships. So looking to follow in his footsteps. He first came over and played for West Virginia in NCAA Division 2 before making the move to Thomson Rivers in the Wolfpack. Nice ball forward there by Zohar, but McMillan just can't poke that one through to Adeniyi.
Hooper now running forward for Rivers FC. Hooper from distance, who just pushed it wide to the right of Sandu, and two goals here would be very difficult for the home side to come back from if they're able to put one home here.
Rivers certainly looking the pacier and the livelier of these two teams. Every time they get the ball and they come forward, they are looking to be a threat right now.
Here's Papakriakopoulos for the Rovers. Switching the play for Dillon. A bit of an awkward ball right back to Hooper there, and Hooper's off to the races for Rivers. Hooper with a move to the goal. Stopped by Sandu. Still there for Alessandro Comita. Just pushes it wide. Looking for a second of the game in the last 5 minutes here. Very tough start for TSS here.
Very tough indeed. Hooper is giving them fits out there just now. They're just really struggling to handle his pace, and Comita as well. I mean, I'm used to seeing Alessandro Comita playing a variety of roles. He played a lot of defensive kind of wing-back stuff with the Whitecaps last season. Very advanced for them at the moment.
Here's Mejia running into the midfield. Now Papakriakopoulos for Mejia. And away there by Elijah Dos Santos, right to Samadine, the big forward, and his ball to the feet of Hausendorf, just too far.
A little bit of a misunderstanding there between Nico Papake and Keji, and they haven't played a lot together, and you just wonder if some of the chemistry is just lacking a little bit out there just now. It's been a couple of times that KJ Adeniyi's made some runs and his teammates maybe haven't expected him to be in that position. He's definitely a different striker, style of striker to what they've had when Habibula's been up front.
Throw in here from Mejia. Adeniyi, nice turn on the ball there to the 18. Trying to lunge in there on Ronaldo and a foul. Adeniyi, obviously a player from New Brunswick. The Reds there in AUS, U Sports.
Originally, well, came over from England, I was saying originally, but I was questioning a couple of times on the broadcast whether he was a Mansfield fan. Well, found out no, he's an Arsenal fan.
It's unfortunate.
Yes.
Can't seem to be winning now these days.
Same may be said for TSS Rovers if they can't turn this one around. Still a lot of time for them to do that, though. Alessandro Cometa has been fantastic for Rivers this afternoon, as has Dylan Hooper, who's screaming for the ball on the far side. Well,
it comes at the cost of TSS here, giving the ball right to them as somebody slips right at half there and creates a divot. Dylan on the line for Edwardson.
There's a lot of water in the pitch in between the two matches as well, so it's going to be a bit slippy out there if you've not got the right footwear.
Dylan for Mejia, nice touch for McMillan. This is better for TSS. McMillan, Mejia tries to make a move, trying to keep going. Now Edwardson, tidy move, and they say he won the ball. Down to the Rovers half for Dylan.
Speaking to Chelsea Hannison after that women's match earlier, she was talking about the advantage that the grass pitch can have, but it's also not as big an advantage as you might think, because a lot of the girls and a lot of the guys aren't used to playing on grass at all. So although they might come here and get some games under their belt here, it's still a bit of an unfamiliar surface to them, which is the same for, I would say, pretty much all these Rivers players. They won't have played a lot of football on grass over the years.
McMillan now, Edwardson. Bounces for Adeniyi, might find Mejia, chested down well and dangerously by Domenico Cometa to the hands of Jumeau. Here's Elijah Dos Santos. Smichenko looks like he got pulled back there. No, says the referee. Samadine wins the ball back from Dylan to make it 2 for Rivers FC. Samadine tackled from behind by Baines and collected by Dylan.
What a tackle that was. Baines had to get that 100% timed correctly. He seems to have hurt his back in the process though. But what a crucial tackle that was from Nasib Baines. It's cost him dear, but it's kept TSS in this one, because if they'd gone down too early, you're kind of wondering it's going to be a long way back. But if he had just got that a split second wrong, that was going to be a penalty.
The total therapy team was prepped and ready to come out and tend Baines there, but looks like he's going to be okay, thankfully. But what a tackle that was.
Incredible stuff there by Baines. Good to see him getting a run out this afternoon. Doesn't seem too much worse from there. I thought he had possibly hurt his back.
Here's Mejia.
Someone with back problems, it's like, that is not an easy thing to just shake off.
That's a knee whiffed at that pass. Now finds McMillan the second time of asking. Lovely layover pass for Edwardson, who's offside here. And a free kick for Rivers. Hooper running at Baines, gets it better again there. Tough start for Baines. Hooper keeps going back across for Samadine, and it will be a corner here for Rivers. Their first of the game from my count. Here in the 23rd minute. Flown by here in a 1-0 Rivers lead. Goal in the 11th by Domenico Cometa in a fantastic take.
Yeah, very fast-paced match. Just really has flown by. We're midway point now off the first half, and it's all Rivers, and Hooper in particular has been outstanding.
So is Alessandro Cometa with the goal. I get those two mixed up quite a bit. You couldn't tell as Jones long ball for the speedy Mejia, trying to reach it there. Mejia might, but cleared away by Jumeau, is filling the boots of Jackson Gardner now, with Gardner moving over to Europe. As Rovers have pace, McMillan running the back line. Edwardson with them, and a free kick and a yellow card very quickly to Rinaldi here.
Second booking of this game. First one for a Rivers player. McMillan was streaking through there. I think that was another worthy yellow card.
Edwardson as well was in lots of space on that right side.
From a Rivers point of view, though, that's the kind of tackle you want to make, because it's like it's well worth giving up the foul to prevent what could have been a much worse outcome if McMillan had got into the box.
Zohar with the free kick here in a very good position for TSS. Fancy him or Jones to take. Four-person wall for Rivers FC. Zohar, picture perfect, just wide to the right there of Jumeau.
I was watching the two of them line up and I was like, there's no way that they're going to go for goal here. And I kind of expected it to be Kyle Jones who would send an outswinger to the back of the box. But Zohar obviously saw something that he liked there, just couldn't get it on target. Oliver Jumeau, another one of the English players on the pitch this afternoon. Came through the Morecambe FC youth ranks.
Zohar now controlling it for the Sea Banes, Toronto Varsity Blue on the OUA U Sports. Here's Smichenko. Now Papakriakopoulos. Mejia, beautiful touch there for Papake. Now Adani on the off to the races here, fouled again, and this is what the Rovers want to do here. Just put Rivers under pressure. McMillan not happy here. And a yellow card for Marcus Scott. I wasn't wrong about the cards just flying here.
No, you weren't. I was like, oh. Wow, 25 minutes gone, 3 bookings. This has ominous overtones, it feels already, that this is going to finish 11 v 11.
Might not finish 11 v 11.
I thought it was DeSantis that McMillan was yelling at as well, but the card seemed to be flashed there to Scott.
It seemed like it also changed the mind of the referee. He wasn't initially going to give one, and then he did after the fact. Free kick again for Zohar in a good position on 25 minutes. Lets it go for Kyle Jones. Drops down for Mejia here. Nice move on somebody. Beautifully done, elusive from Mejia. A little step over. Ivan Mejia back across goal. Trying to follow it up now. He will. It will be a TSS corner, their third here. Trailing 1-0.
This is more like it from TSS. This is the TSS that we know and love and expect to see in the Swangard pitch. They are missing a number of key personnel. Matteo Polisi on the bench. He's been touch and go. It was a game day decision for this. He's getting a bit of physio beforehand.
Kyle Jones, free kick for TSS, trying to whip it in. Bravely away there by Hooper.
Not the best delivery we've seen from Jones. He's usually so pinpoint with these set-piece crosses and corner kicks.
Well, again towards Dylan. Drops down for Papake. Might find Ali. Zohar driven in towards goal. It struck a player in the face. That was Rosenlund. And he's slow to his feet here.
Yeah, Big Dane did not know much about that. Just hit right off his face and he went down like a tree there. Seems a little bit worse for wear. It's a very big Rivers side. It's like physically imposing when you see them lining up against some of the smaller TSS guys.
Kyle Jones again tries one up in the air. Just wide by Adani. What a look there in his first start for the club. Just flashes that header wide to the right of Jumeau's goal.
So close to the equaliser there for TSS.
Jumeau now finding Perenes off the goal kick. Off the boot of Edwardson, there's Zohar, nods it forward for Edwardson. Now Baines on the turn.
We hope you're enjoying this broadcast wherever you're watching it live, or if you're watching it on demand. If you're watching it live, remember you can get in touch with us in the YouTube chat. We'd love to hear from you, interact with you if you want to talk about either of these two teams, the season so far, League One in general, or you can also get in touch on Twitter at AFTN Canada. I will get to some of your messages later in the match. I'm charging my phone just now because it died a little bit during the first half. I think so much having to wind back all the different goals to see who had got assists and stuff is taking its toll on my poor little Samsung.
Should have switched to Apple.
Nah, never.
Too technologically advanced for you probably anyway. So
too trendy.
You must be a one-finger typer then when you text, eh?
I do a lot with my one finger. It has good effect with it.
Here's Mejia. Here's Paredes. Clipping it through again. The run of Rosenlund. Dogged determination there. That ball's just going to elude him and go for a goal kick for Sandu. But I really like how the Rivers set up here. Looked at the 7-0 loss to Unity last week and maybe thought that might be capture their season in a game. But setting up the right way. What a back heel by Rosenlund, just too far for Ronaldo, who's making the run from center back to out wide.
I mean, that definitely certainly feels like an outlier of a result for Rivers, and the way that they're playing here has been fantastic. I've watched a few of their games. They took Altitude apart a couple of weeks ago.
McMillan now for Edwardson. Now Mejia in his bread and butter area, trying to move to the top of the 18. Mejia does. Can't get his shot off. Now finds Adzani. On the overlap was Zohar. Adzani comfortably back there for Mejia, who's shoved over by Domenico Comita.
Just feel the referee's just going to blow for pretty much everything this afternoon.
What is the man in the middle, Josh Hooving?
I think he might have done one of the games, or was at least the fourth official for one of the Altitude games last weekend that I did.
Pushing the Rivers wall back.
I think you can definitely say a very officious official.
It will be Kyle Jones. Great ball in for Adani off of the head of Hooper. And another corner coming up here for TSS. Their fourth already as we approach the 31st.
They're certainly turning up the pressure. Can they find the equaliser?
McMillan towards the back post up there. Smichenko back into the 6 for Adani. Might fall here for Edwardson. Not in a shooting position now. Mejia can shoot from there. He will! It's a peach of a goal! An absolute beauty by Ivan Mejia. Picks his spot. Rovers equalize in the 31st. An absolute beauty for Mejia.
Take a bow once again. Ivan Mejia curling it into the postage stamp corner. Getting little goosebumps and flashbacks to his goal against Valor there. This one from even further away. We spoke at the start of this that Ivan Mejia is a man that's been catching attention and turning heads. There's a number of clubs interested in bringing him away from TSS, and if he plays like that, you have to feel it's not going to be long before someone comes swooping in for the dancing Colombian.
That was insane from Ivan Mejia. Not many words. I ran out of the dictionary for that one with Ivan Mejia. And you knew right from when you picked up the ball there, that would be right where he was going to curl it in. As that was incredible from Ivan Mejia.
Third goal of the season in League One play.
Mejia again from distance. Oh, just testing Jumeau. Sorry about that. It was a volley from about 30 yards just to the wide of the right of Jumeau's goal.
Hey, when he's on the ball, I'll just not talk because it's like he can just conjure rabbits out of hats here. He is the magician. Mejia the magician, I think, is what we need to go with. Instead of Camilo the magician.
Or Ivan the Magnificent. McMillan. Edwardson running through Mejia in space. He might find Eric Edwardson into the 18. No foul there. No penalty, says Josh Hooving. It actually is an offside flag on Edwardson, believe it or not.
Just before Mahia scored there, I was going to say to you, they need to find a way of getting Edwardson more involved in the game. And it does feel that he's having one of his quieter outings. But that goal from Mahia, his third in League One this season, tying Eric Edwardson now for the team lead on 3 goals apiece. All of Eric Edwardson's coming in that stunning hat-trick that he hit against Harbourside.
Mahia off to the races here, and a ball through from Jones. Mahia 1-on-1 on Kamita to the outside. Mahia back across goal, might find Edwards in it. And now a Baines for Zohar. Kyle Jones trying to play it back post, had to knee, had it away. Now Baines. Beautiful turn, foul there by Samandine rather. What a turn of the table here it's been for TSS the last 10 or so. They were really under the cosh.
Though. I mean, the opening 10-15 minutes, it was Rivers in the ascendancy, and I think they were worthy of their 1-goal lead. But since then, it's taken a little bit of time for TSS to kind of get things going.
We've talked about how many teams come in here to Swangard. Pause for a moment, and McMillan works his way into the Rivers box to the end line and ran it out of play there. But how many teams that have come in here and set up, parked the bus, so to speak, and Rivers had a clear game plan. They were aggressive on the ball, away from the ball, on the ball, and that would allow them to get the goal through Alessandro Kamita in the 11th minute. But this is just a different team when John Antolov's at the helm than the Rovers have used to seeing this year. Maybe you can akin it to Highlanders coming in here to Swangard 3 weeks ago, but what a start to this game.
I mean, I was starting to think as well, like we spoke about TSS beating Unity quite comfortably. Oof.
Mahia on the ball for TSS to make it 2 in the day. Mahia! Just wide.
I thought that had curled in again there. Just from our angle, that looked like that was in the top corner. He loves that corner.
He's such a spark plug, isn't he, the way he plays?
Yeah, what was just a way to say before that quick flashing shot from Mahia there was that you've got teams like Unity who had been beaten by TSS and then used that as we're going to bounce back and show what we're made of. It was kind of like the eye-opening game for them. And I was starting to think, maybe this has been the case with Rivers after that beaten at the hands of Unity. They've certainly looked very good out there this afternoon. And I think it's definitely a team that's going to be there or thereabout for one of the top 4 playoff spots come the end of the season. Right now, sitting down in 7th in the table, just really because of their goal difference.
Corner kick here for Conor McMillan to the 18.
That's a dangerous header there. That really could have gone anywhere.
Marcus Scott not dealing with it fully now. And see Baines for Ali Zohar, watched by Hausendorf, or make that Hooper with a firm challenge.
I've really liked what I've seen from Hooper out there in this first half. The Winnipegger was with Rivers last season, got a couple of goals for them in their inaugural League One campaign.
Jones with a poor ball and a rare one. Rinaldi lost it. Dogged running by Adeni, who's very lively here. TSS now finding some chemistry, and third different striker that started this year up top for TSS alongside Habibullah and Edwardson at one time or another. Now in his more comfortable and preferred right-wing role.
Certainly been a lot of changes to this Rivers side. I mean, I mentioned Hooper there with his 2 goals. 6 different goal scorers for Rivers last year, but Hooper is the only one of those that's actually come back this season.
Yeah, 12 returnees for Rivers, 12 for TSS as well, so just over a starting 11 returning from last year's team. It's a tough finish last year for Rivers, just 3 wins in 12 games played.
I mean, you always have to factor in how much this travel takes out of them. I mean, the other teams just have to make that trip once over the course of the season, whereas Rivers have to make it 7 times over the year, and now there's 2 teams on the island for them as well that they're soon going to be facing in back-to-back games away from home on the island. Oh, heavy challenge there. I wonder if we're going to see another card come out. This time the referee does keep
I have
it
my
in
money
his
on
pocket.
yes. No? Okay,
no,
maybe not.
Yeah, he seems to be just a talking to at the moment. That was really the first bad challenge that we've seen so far, though, from Samadine.
Here's McMillan finding Edwardson. Now Dillon for Smichenko. Papakrakopoulos trying to play one in. Now Kyle Jones. Tyler Dillon with Baines in a lot of space on that right side, but Dillon decides to keep his team in play here, and he will. You know the Rovers are on their game when they're doing this, just keeping the ball and creating chances. Papakrakopoulos, lovely overlap ball for Mejia, lost it, trying to get it back. Mejia beautifully down through 3 Rivers players, finds McMillan a strike, blocked in front by Domenico Comita, and Jones with a volley that goes way wide, and it bounced ahead of Rivers player, and a corner kick coming up for TSS.
Like, what way was it going to bounce? And it went favourably for the corner. Great stuff again, though, by Mejia. Just dancing his way through. River dance, you could almost say.
You can tell when he's on it or off it. I didn't think he had his best game against Pacific. He was pulled off in about the 60th, and then 4 games since then, he's been absolutely brilliant. He's
a guy that once the confidence is there, if he's had a good start to the game, it just flows, and you can see what he can do there. It's hard to get the ball off his feet at times.
Corner kick from Kyle Jones here. Good ball towards Edwardson, but away by Marcus Scott. Not fully clear by Alessandro Comita. Now he will.
He just wants to clear it anywhere just now to take the pressure off that back line. The last 10-15 minutes, pretty much most of the action, I would say, has been played in the Rivers half.
Sanu now telling his team to just pull back a little bit here. A line of 6 Rovers here attacking this Rivers back line of 4 just then with a bit of a line offensively.
It's a very high press by TSS just now, and that is also contributing to Rivers struggling to get the ball out of there. Samadin's kind of been ploughing a lone furrow up there.
Smichenko finding Papakrakopoulos. Trying to find McMillan away by Elijah Dos Santos. He's got good ball distribution, but was partially at fault for that Mejia goal not stepping up. Here's Edwardson. Mejia screaming for it on this near side. What a play from McMillan. What a dummy from Adeni. This is perfect for TSS. Adeni barging through. And
it's going to be a free kick right on the edge of the box. I didn't see a lot in that, I've got to say. That
I thought it was a foul on Adeni.
Yeah, I really did not see that. I love how you're going on about the lovely little back heel and the dummy. They were both very fortunate to come off.
True.
I don't think that was really the intention of either. But TSS won't care. They have got a free kick that I would say this is ripe for Kyle Jones. I've seen him do this so many times for SFU in the VMSL for Coquitlam Metroford. We also know that Ali Zohar can strike these as well, but this has to be surely a Kyle Jones effort. I've built it up for him here. KJ's got to deliver now.
He's going to put it back onto the boundary road and behind us here. 5-man wall for Rivers FC here. Jones steps up and puts it right in behind the net.
Too close for goal. He just could not get that up and over at that speed from there.
Another nice snag there by the ball kid behind the net. That one had some muster behind it from Kyle Jones. Here in the 42nd. 1-1 goals in the 11th from Domenico. Make the Alessandro Comita for Rivers FC.
Why?
I keep mixing them up.
Oh, good luck with the next 2 games with the Hughes Goyette sisters.
Yeah.
I struggle with that.
And as well in the 31st from Ivan Mejia. Domenico is wearing the helmet. I have to keep drilling that into my mind. On this near side, the number 6.
Yeah, that should be quite a differentiator for you.
Alessandro's had a great game here. He's with the Whitecaps last year. A U19 team.
If you're lucky, you might get Khalil DeSantis coming on, and we'll have 2 DeSantises on as well.
The team I worked for this year had 2 sets of brothers and another set of players that had the same last name.
Oh,
it was a nightmare season. Yeah,
and it's so fast-paced with hockey as well. You
Yeah.
haven't even got time to think.
I just went on a first-name basis most of the time.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing with the Hughes Goyette one. It's just as a precursor for you for next week. Such a long name to get out as well. Just stick with it. Allen Aurora.
Rinaldi for Domenico Comita. Well, won by Mejia fairly. What a move as well. He's just toying with him right now.
Dancing. When I was over at TSS for the build-up to the Pacific game, spent a lot of time with Will Cromack, and he just spoke about just the skill that Ivan Mejia has, that he's a kind of special player, and he just sprinkles a little bit of salsa on his moves as he goes through.
Here's Kyle Jones. Looking wide for Edwardson. Perfectly weighted ball.
There.
Now that one might be too far ahead of McMillan. Here's Rinaldi.
Again, Edwardson just not at the Eric Edwardson that we know and love, just not fully on it today, it feels.
Comita, Alessandro, and Dylan get tangled up, and now Hooper trying to switch the play here for Hausendorf. Read by Papakrikopoulos, but a dangerous chested ball for Smitchenko, away there by Sandio in the midfield for Zohar. Baines now forward. Rinaldi nods it on right to the feet of Dylan, who wisely settles the ball down. There's Kyle Jones for Papakrikopoulos here.
Highly entertaining first half that's whizzed by here. We're about to go into the 44th minute, I think.
Yes,
it's
you're
hard
right.
the scoreboard's
I know,
looking
it's hard to
weird
see
today.
Jones trying to step in. Simon Dean did. One back well by Jones. 1 minute to be added on here in the first half. What a first half it's been. Fast-paced as Adeniyi fell.
Really enjoyed this. Really enjoyed both the games today, in fact. This has been a great advert for League 1 BC.
Mejia looking through for Edwardson. What an idea. Grab there by Jumeau. And Mejia feel like he's on for another goal here, or an assist for that matter.
Yeah, Jumeau had to be really quick off his line to snuff out Edwardson there. 5'10" goalkeeper, one of the smaller goalkeepers that you might see from Carnforth in England.
Hausendorf running and tries to strike from distance. Another ambitious attempt by the big German.
There is the fourth official, given that indication of 1 minute of time getting added on.
Here's Smitchenko.
Don't really want half time to come. It's been that kind of great entertainment.
Papakrikopoulos trying to play it up the line for Mejia. What a play has flowed through this right side for TSS, and why not the way Mejia is playing. Here's Jones. Papakrikopoulos. Put it through for Adzani, and that's going to be grabbed by Jumeau right in the sun. Good job to see that ball there. Jumeau right back up into the air for Zohar's retreating to head that one forward for McMillan. Now Dos Santos. Domenico Comita trying to play it up the line here for Rinaldi. Forward by Papakrikopoulos right to the feet of Jos Hausendorf. And referee Josh Huving blows for halftime. Goal in the 11th minute from Alessandro Comita, a peach of a goal. And then speaking of a peach, that's what happened to Ivan Mejia. A perfect curled effort to tie the game in the 31st. Your score after 45 is 1-1, and great half so far. Physical, but lots to be played in the second half here.
Yeah, this game's still very much in the balance. TSS finished it strong after a really strong start from Rivers. I think both teams will go in both happy with how they played in that half, a little bit unhappy as well. TSS feel like they've got the edge just now, but this break could have come at the wrong time for them. I guess we'll see in 15 minutes how things shape up. I'm looking forward to that second half. Don't go anywhere.
Your score at halftime, Rovers 1, Rivers 1. Don't go anywhere. Back here for the second half at Swangard Stadium here on YouTube. Gideon Hill, Michael McCall with you for the second half of action of the 6th match week of League 1 BC. And Rovers sub is Baines is out. Fugo Sagao, the number 25, is in playing as a right back. I do like him more on the left, but him and Edwardson on the right side are just as deadly as Samandi makes a nice move for Rivers for Domenico Comita. This would be difficult for the Rovers if they could concede in the first few seconds of the half. And a big save by Sandu 30 seconds after halftime. And that would have been silly for the Rovers to concede there if that was the case. Sandu made the save.
That would have been a worst possible start you could have imagined. But Rivers out in the front foot as well very early here. Keeping up that intensity that they showed in the first half. And I was very impressed with Dylan Hooper in that first half. He's had 4 seasons with the Wolfpack, so John Ontilov knows exactly what he can offer to his team, which has been 7 goals during those games.
Alessandro Comita finding Hausendorf, or make that to Hooper. They look the same, Hausendorf and Hooper, just a little bit taller as Jos Hausendorf, the German. Here's Jimo.
One of 4 different internationals outside of Canadians, so 5 if you include Canada. On the Rivers side, we've got a German, we've got a Dane, we've got an Englishman, we've got a Korean.
John Antolov does a lot of scouting in the off-season. He's got players from Paredes, who's from Belgium. Josh Banton was from England as well. It's time with the Wolfpack, and then Hausendorf and Rosenlund as mentioned. Jumo.
Oh yeah, I forgot, of course. Paredes, born in Barcelona.
Paredes Glass Smasher, I think, is his
Yes.
second name. He just goes by Jan Paredes now.
Yeah, I was disappointed he dropped the Glass Smasher. I always enjoyed saying that during the commentary that we did.
Especially when we did the Final Four about 5 years ago when they were in the Final Four in the back-to-back days of saying that name. And him and Banton were a fit, though, for opposing attackers in their time together.
Good-looking guys.
Paredes for Dos Santos. Has to be careful here. Draped all over him. His former teammate Edwardson. And lost it to Mejia. Mejia out wide for Edwardson into the Rivers box there. And a pull at the jersey by Edwardson for Dos Santos, who takes quite a big fall.
Yes. But TSS playing towards the Swangardians in this half. They're doing their Pride Raiser month in June, the Swangardians. You can check them out on Twitter and find out all about that.
Had a multicolored smoke display just before the start of this game here. Very cool. Here's Jumo for Rivers trying to switch the play for Rosenlund. Now there's Hooper. Good job by Sagao to shove him off the ball. And then he got shoved in turn. And that was Hooper here. And a warning from Josh Hooving, telling him to watch himself, essentially.
Sagawa just smiling at that skin-on-skin contact there.
Here's Dylan, the former altitude player. Back for Smichenko. Dylan now. For Fugo Sagawa. Now Tyler Dillon. Gino Smichenko. Dillon finding McMillan. Nice flick on for Jones. Back for McMillan. He can pick a spot from there. He might. Lays it off instead, though, for Papakriakopoulos. Drives one. Well saved by Jumo.
Great shot there by Papakriakopoulos.
That was a perfect layoff from McMillan. You thought he might pick a setup, but he is a right footer, so the angle didn't favor him. But
nice little flick inside, though, from KJ as well.
McMillan now whips it in. Away there by Scott. Thrown coming out for McMillan here. Here is McMillan.
Just too much on that, carried that over. I mean, looking at the TSS bench, there's some options there for Darren Rusher, if he wants to change things up, missing Richardson today, missing Habibullah today. Two guys that you can look to bring on that would do a fantastic job to try and get them this go-ahead goal. You do feel for TSS and their hopes of getting back to the Canadian Championship that a point today is not going to be good enough. These are the kind of games that they have to be looking to get all three from at home against a team below them in the standings.
So hard for Mejia. Feel he might factor into this game. Eric Edwardson with a banger! Oh my! Eric Edwardson announces his name on the score sheet, dives into the corner, and it's a 2-1 Rovers lead in the 51st. Sensational from Double E.
What a strike from Eric Edwardson. I said in the first half he didn't have his best half out there, and he didn't come out all guns blazing in the second half. Rifles that one into the top left corner. The smoke is back out. They still have some left, the Swangardians, after those goals in the women's game. TSS have the lead for the first time this afternoon. Eric Edwardson, last year's Golden Boot winner in League 1, up to 4 now in the season, retaking the goal-scoring lead with TSS as well. 4th
goal this season for Eric Edwardson. They might want to check the meshing in the net there because I think he almost just put it through the ball through the net. We've seen 2 fantastic strikes by TSS for their goals this afternoon. Even Kamita's strike as well for Rivers was a good one. It's been 3 good goals. Been spoiled for goals this afternoon. The women's match, a lot of them were coming from defensive mistakes. Bangers all round this afternoon in the men's. On a left foot, no less, from Eric Edwardson. The right-footed predominant player, but that was something special. That one just out of the reach of somebody in here, but it might find Hooper! Oh, just wide. Just like the women's game, too. Score one, and the other team scores another.
End-to-end stuff here. Hooper, head in his hands. He knows he had a great opportunity there, and I thought he was going to put that away and tie things back up right away. If the whole second half continues like this, we are in for a fantastic feast.
Here's Jones. Papakriakopoulos now. Jones for McMillan. For Adeni. What a flick. Catching Adeni for TSS. And it just kind of overran it there as he collides with the defender.
Just the hesitation. He was in 2 minds, it felt, as to what he wanted to do there, and he just waited too long. The ball then didn't run through to him and allowed the keeper, Jumo, to come out and kind of put enough off for Adeniyi. But here come TSS again.
Mejia right in his spot. Mejia through for Connor McMillan onside. McMillan back for Mejia. Offside.
Right decision there. It was just off there from CMAC, but great play again there.
Free kick for Jumo.
Gideon eyeing up his gummy sour juicy watermelon drink.
Yeah, this is right up my alley. I've told you I can't stand the taste of beer, so this is going to be exciting for me.
I think we can honestly say, looking at this is not going to taste like beer.
Yeah. The sponsors of TSS, Parallel 49, providing our... Don't worry, we're not consuming during halftime. Make that Steamworks, sorry.
Not the sponsors.
Sorry.
So let's quickly move on.
Yeah.
It says it's a sour beer, which I don't know if I've ever had a sour beer. So
this one towards Edwardson, grabbed by Jumo. We're not consuming it during the broadcast. If that's what you're wondering, no, we would not. Never do that.
No, we were going to do shots during the women's game for every goal, but we would never have made it to this men's match if we had done that.
I would have been done after one. So
we want to thank Bruce, who does the music here at Swangard for the TSS games, for providing those to us today.
And Dana as well, who came by with the drinks. Bruce did the first game and went off to the Whitecaps game, so that was Dana that provided the beer. So
sorry, Dana.
Yes. So we had empanadas the week before. We have beer this week. What's in store for next? Maybe a scarf, perhaps? If anyone's listening.
I've got one. Asking you will receive. That's how I got my Calgary Dinos scarf from doing the UBC games last year. Don't know if I ever told you about that.
No.
Oh. I just said I liked their scarves, and then...
Boom.
Boom. A scarf appeared.
Elijah Dos Santos with a free kick in a dangerous area. Might find Hausendorf. He's in behind the defense. Saved by Sandu. And defensive structure there from TSS kind of broke down as that free kick was played in. and a kind of innocuous position for Elijah Dos Santos, and put it on the boot of Hausendorf perfectly.
Should also mention big fan of Mazda CX-5s as well.
Yep.
Just in case any of those want to get delivered free to us.
Well, you can have your own. I have mine, so don't worry about that.
Oh, I didn't know that's what you had.
Yeah, it is.
I've gone off it now.
Rinaldi.
Boy racer's car.
Dos Santos trying to clip it through for Rosenlin. Watched by Fugo Sagawa now. Dylan Hooper trying to play a little 1-2 with Rinaldi, made the run through. Now Ali Zohar. Edwardson tidily back for Fugo Sagawa.
Whole complexion of this game's changed now. Rivers have to be the aggressor to try and get themselves back level. They've played a really good game so far. They're going to feel a little bit slighted that they are 2-1 down. But TSS had turned it up a notch towards the end of the first half. It's been a very even second half though. Hope you're enjoying this. Why would you not be enjoying this? It's a great match of football here at Swangard this afternoon.
A feast of football, as you always say.
I love to say that. It is a feast of football, though, in the lower mainland right now. There's just so much going on, so much football to watch.
McMillan for Edwardson in the overlap, 57th. Edwardson the goal, the difference right now. Edwardson beautifully done. Eric Edwardson trying for two.
He's got his confidence fully flowing now. Remember, if you want to get in touch with us during the broadcast, you can leave a message in the YouTube chat or get in touch on Twitter at AFTN Canada. We always love to interact, as I thought it was a chance there. C-Mac did as well. Adenihi adjudged to have the foul on DeSantis there. McMillan couldn't believe that. He looked like he was away to play in Edwardson to try and get his second of the game. But instead it's called back and it's going to be a free kick here for Rivers. Midway in their own half, and DeSantis will send this one long. And long. And very, very long.
Right to the hands of Sandu. Hasn't been very busy today, Sandu. A couple of saves, but his team has gone back to their old ways of holding possession, making it very difficult for the opposition to try and break them down. As Mejia with a beautiful touch for Kyle Jones. Now McMillan for Ivan Mejia. Zohar for Edwardson. Look at the space for Papakrikopoulos on the left side. Welcomes that back, though, to Samedi, and Sandu is way out of his net. He'll have to retreat quickly. Samedi running at Smichenko. Cuts inside. Rinaldi was there. Still Samedi. Numbers in support. Smichenko fouled by Iman Samedi, a Pegasus VMSL player in his time.
Big bulldozer just going through there. It looked like there was no stopping the big man. Now, we were talking about Justin Sandu just a few minutes ago as well. So much talk around the Rovers is of their attacking players, and they've been the guys that's been catching the eye. Mejia, Polisi, Edwardson, Ali Zohar in the midfield. Justin Sandu, for me, has been consistent the last couple of seasons in League 1. Great college career he's been having with SFU as well. He is certainly a guy that I feel is worth a look to in the pro ranks as well. You've got a team like Pacific that could do with a stronger goalkeeper just now, and a crunching tackle there on Eric Edwardson. Down in a heap, holding his ankle from Dylan Hooper there. Referee in this half not seemingly giving any fouls after being quite whistle happy in the first half.
Hooper trying to go over to apologize to Edwardson there as Papakrikopoulos carries his run on the left side, cuts it back for Edson, and a header, towering one over the goal there.
Feel you really want Adenihi to get on the score sheet this afternoon, and a goal I think would do wonders for his confidence as well. He wants to get his TSS account off and running, his League 1 account off and running.
Well, we saw what it did to Masoud Habibullah when he got on the score sheet.
Yeah, I mean, last season, when Masoud had a tough, I would say, first 7 games or so for Altitude, got that goal, different player after that. Finished the season with 5 goals, leading scorer for the team. And you feel that Adenihi just needs that first goal, and then the other goals are going to come. He's trying hard, he's getting in the right positions. It does feel like another afternoon that just things are not coming off for him, though. Pretty sure Darren Rusher would love to get a third just now so that he maybe doesn't have to go to his bench and can save Matteo Polisi a little bit. Next 2 games coming up for TSS, as we mentioned, home and away against Altitude.
Those were fun last year to watch.
Oh, I mean, they were great games, and Altitude really brought the game to TSS when they came here last year. But Altitude still looking for that first win on the men's side. They're going to be 2 games at TSS. Without getting too far ahead of themselves, they're going to be thinking we can get 6 points from that, 3 from this afternoon. Those 9 points suddenly see them looking very strong in the division.
Alessandro can make a nice move from distance. He'll have a go. He slipped as he struck it, but rolls right to the feet of Samadine. Lucky bounce there as Rovers continue the attack, but it's right back for Papakriakopoulos. If I recall correctly, it was scoreless at Swangard.
It was,
a 3-1 altitude win on the road at at home at Kinsman, if I'm not mistaken. Or 3-3, sorry. I think it would have been 3-3 as
I think
Altitude
that was
came ahead, and I think they scored in the first minute and a half through Vladan Liumovic.
I don't know what I'm saying. I think I've got the thing written down here. It was a 3-1 win for TSS in that second game. No, sorry, it was a 3-1 win for Altitude with Edwardson getting on the score sheet. Because I think that was the first game that Habibullah got his first goal for Altitude, and then the rest of the goals came after that. TSS liked what they saw from him so much, they brought him here this year alongside Tyler Dillon.
What an ad he's been.
He's been excellent. I mean, we were waxing lyrical about Dillon with his partnership with Nathan Walters with Altitude last year, and he's come in and formed a great partnership with Smichenko. TSS very spoiled. They've got 3 quality centre-backs in Smichenko, Dillon and Burrett.
Ben Hilton as well, and Kean Proctor, 2 guys that can throw their names in the hat as well in that conversation. As Marshall comes into the game here for Rivers, out comes
Samadine, and I'm pretty sure that the TSS defence will be very glad to see him out of there.
Like for like sub there. Marshall, 2 goals this year. Samadine, 2 goals as well, as Sagawa tries to play it down the line. Kept alive by Kyle Jones.
Liked what I've seen from Finn Marshall so far this season.
So hard for McMillan. Papakriakopoulos attacking to that left flank. Watched by Hausendorf. Now McMillan.
Finn Marshall, another one of the really young players on this Riverside.
Dillon for Sagawa.
TSS just happy really to keep the ball, knock it about, try and get the ball forward when they see the space.
Edwardson back across goal, just out of the reach there of Connor McMillan. He'll collect on the far side, try to make a move on Domenico Kamita.
Nice idea, just had too much weight on it there.
Marshall tried to lay it through his legs for Hausendorf, and right there is Zohar. Mejia now, 1 touch ball for McMillan. Now Mejia, he can pick a spot from there. Beautifully done, Edwardson and Mejia. McMillan, dizzying stuff there offensively, but away come Rivers. And in some pace in the left side is Hooper. Sagawa read that play well. Comes away with it. Antelov head and hands here on the touchline.
End-to-end stuff now.
Edwardson for Mejia. Good step in by Marshall, but Jones tries to play it back, and Marshall comes away as Alessandro coming in a lot of space here for Rivers. Closed down by Papakriakopoulos, trying to thread it through for Hooper. And it back for Tyler Dillon, the SFU Red Leaf.
This must feel like you're doing one of your ice hockey games. It's just going end-to-end right now. That's not the kind of game TSS ideally want to get into right now. Message on the YouTube chat from the Foggy82, who's looking forward to the Battle of the Bridge games this year. I like that more than the Ironworkers Derby, Battle of the Bridge. I battle with the bridge every time I'm going to do the commentary at Altitude, trying to get home over it. Took me 35 minutes after the game last Sunday, which is usually a 12-minute drive.
Rinaldi now for Rivers, trying to switch the play. Domenico Camino holds it in well. His brother Alessandro calling for it. Those two get tangled up, Papakriakopoulos and Domenico Camino. Now Rinaldi Picks it up in space for Rivers FC. Rinaldi's got a good left foot on him and has a go. And again, that grass kind of disallowing him to get a clean shot off. He slipped on the way through here in the 65th as the Rovers prep some more subs here down to our right.
We talked about it in the first half. It does give TSS a bit of an advantage, but not as big an advantage as folk might think, because the guys aren't playing on it constantly, and they do train on turf, so they're not training on grass. And for a lot of these guys, they're just not used to playing on grass. Their college games are on turf. Their amateur games and VMSL or whatever's mostly on turf.
Or training on ice as they were this week.
Yeah,
Rovers teams took to the ice at the Richmond Oval.
That. You notice I wasn't there. I've never had a pair of skates on in my life, so you don't want to capture the video of that.
Yeah, you should.
Sadly, I was at work and I couldn't make it along.
I'd have had to carry up the stairs after that for this broadcast.
I wouldn't have been here today.
Smoothly done by Alessandro Comita. He wants something to say about this result right now for his team. Opened the score in the 11th, but it's been pretty much all TSS, one-way traffic since then, as he wins a corner for his side here in the 66th.
Comita and Hooper, I think the two players that's really stood out the most for me for Rivers this afternoon. I was always a big fan of Comita in the Whitecaps Academy. I really liked what he brought. Not to say his Whitecaps days are over, because he just wanted to go down the college route. He can always come back for Whitecaps 2.
Rinaldi, right-footed ball. It's a good one for Hooper. Up in the air there was Paredes off the bar. Chased down by Hooper and a thumping clearance by McMillan. What a lineup for the head of Hooper as Jones was fouled there by Alessandro Comita.
I think we're getting the first card of the second half. We are, and it goes to Comita.
Here in the 67th.
Thankfully, we're not playing the drinking game with bookings with this referee either.
It's a good thing we have a gummy sour in front of us if that was the case, but
Yellow card caution to Rivers FC, number 10, Alessandro Comita.
There's a close call for Rivers, crashing that one off the bar. A lucky escape for TSS.
I feel like this game's not in Rovers' hands at all here. Rivers have certainly asked some questions as Escobar and Polisi prep to come in, and that just means things are going to get worse for Rivers defensively here.
I did wonder whether we might see Mateo today or whether they would try and save him. Has had groin issues on and off over the course of the season.
Hooper pulled there by Sagawa. No yellow, and John Antelov not happy.
Such a big season for players like Mateo Polisi as well. Released by Pacific in the off-season, wanting to get back to the CPL. Alongside the man that's coming on with him just now, Gabe Escobar, released by Halifax and really keen to come back to the CPL. And these are two of the number of players on this TSS side that I feel are CPL ready right now. They can go into any one of those 8 teams and make those teams better. Hopefully some CPL managers watching this, and we are going to get that. It's a triple.
TSS Rovers substitution.
No, it is a double substitution. Too many legs there. I'm getting confused.
So Escobar like for like, left back coming in for Papakriakopoulos, and Ali Zohar's race is run. Polisi comes in for the Rovers number 6, and I like him in that number 6
wondering
role
if
almost.
we're going to see, like,
I think we will.
It's kind of like a 6 and 8, does a bit of box to box, almost kind of has like a free floating role, which I don't think against a team like Rivers, the way that they're attacking just now, they can really afford to have him having too much of a free role. It's got to be a little bit more disciplined. I do feel when he's got the freer role, he does better in that position. When it's a bit more disciplined, not so much, and you don't really see the offensive output that we know he can add. But if he is got a little bit of a knock coming into this, it is less wear and tear on his body as well.
We can't have 2 attack midfielders on the pitch when him and McMillan, so one's got to play out of position, so to speak. Saren Rusher trying to yell instructions here, but I'm not sure at Polisi or who it was, but
Game certainly on a knife edge still, and you do feel that Rivers have players out there, and they've already hit the bar in the last couple of minutes, that they can easily get themselves back on level terms here.
Jones trying to get up there, collected by Smichenko. Now Tyler Dillon for TSS. Up ahead for Edwardson. Finding Mejia. Beautiful touch. Here's McMillan for Adeni. He'd love to get one here, wouldn't he? Adeni, top of the 18. Adeni over the goal. Just feel like he's needing something here to get his confidence back. It's dipped a little bit. KJ Adeni in the 71st. Rovers asking a lot of questions here.
Rivers asking a few themselves, and Hooper's calling for the ball there. He is in acres of room here on the left-hand side, and the ball just not finding him.
Talk about guys that could move on to the next level. You look at a guy like Cooper. He's played his trade with TRU Wolfpack, as Michael mentioned, for 4 years, and he's younger. He plays a very aggressive style, kind of like Mejia, where he's very pacey in the wide areas, very creative.
I've always liked what I've seen from him, whether it's been in the college game with the Wolfpack last year in League 1. And I definitely think he's been the standout Rivers player.
McMillan for Mejia. Here's Polisi. Adeni. Beautiful stuff from TSS. Adeni for Edwardson. Dizzying here. Back for Mejia. Half volley. And that one misled him there. That would have been something special if that one was linked into the back of the net.
Unselfish play there from Adeniyi when you maybe feel he just should have been a bit more selfish and gone for the shot. But again, that's probably coming down from the confidence as well, because nothing has come off for him so far this afternoon.
Ooh, Dillon clattered there by Hooper. No card there from Josh Hooving. Hooper doesn't have one. Three Rivers players do. Jones the lone one for TSS.
Some Dillon on Dillon violence there.
Dillon quickly off the free kick back there to Jones. Now Sagawa. Polisi. Escobar, look at the pace there. Ran it a little bit too far as Domenico Comita will clear it, and Escobar with a flying tackle as well.
I think Escobar is lucky that he didn't fully connect with that, or that could have been a very early booking for him on the pitch.
Polisi for Smichenko. Dillon perfectly weighted ball on the deck for Edwardson. Pushed from behind by Marshall. Free kick here for TSS in a good position as Sagawa steps up to take here. A double sub coming up for John Antolov's Rivers FC.
Whoa, off the post by Connor McMillan. What a strike. Getting with so many watching the subs, he missed the quickly taken free kick there, and Edwardson just played that forward to McMillan, who crashed one over the right post. I thought that was in. Cannons off the woodwork, and Rivers breathe a sigh of relief. Both teams now hitting the woodwork in the last few minutes here.
That's why it's good to have two sets of eyes, that's for sure. McMillan at goalless on the year for TSS. Rosenlund. Alessandro Comita fell, and now it's Polisi. Jones now for Mejia. Lovely layoff back for Kyle Jones. Does he have the legs to get there? He will. Now Mejia. Polisi. Now Escobar from Polisi. Back for Matteo Polisi. Patient stuff here from the hosts as they play catch on that left side between Escobar, Polisi, and McMillan. He wanted the ball there, wasn't happy about that one. Here's Edwardson. Lovely ball in for Adeni. Saved by Jumeau. An acrobatic stop of the Rivers keeper in the 75th.
I thought Adeni, he was going to get his goal, that his play is deserved there, but Jumeau more than a match for that. The header off the ground, bouncing up, and the Englishman tips it over for a corner kick, which is quickly taken here.
Jones and away by Hooper. Another corner coming up for TSS.
Such a fast-paced game, you just can't take your eyes off it for a second, but TSS now slowing things down a little bit as Rivers still waiting to make their double sub.
Mejia. Jones to his left. Slidden away by Hooper, and that ball will nicely stay in play. And now go out for a Rovers throw. He's not happy with that one there.
No, but hey, I definitely thought that came off the Rivers man, and Rivers will finally get to make their changes. Making way is number 11, Josh Hausendorf. Coming on, the number 18, Khalil Dos Santos. So Gideon's worst nightmare has come true. There's 2 Dos Santos on there just now and 2 Comitas.
Rivers FC substitution.
Oh, in fact, no, there isn't, because Domenico Comitas made way.
Number 19,
And coming on is Bagveer Sidhu. So John Antilov doing a solid there for Gideon by not having too many confusing names.
Jones struck one right there, Alessandro.
Yeah, that was
and Noah,
quite something.
You heard right, to Dos Santos, but it's not Mark and Phil. It is Elijah and Khalil. That one stung Alessandro Comito there. That one really hurt.
I'm not surprised. I'm amazed he didn't go down right away, because that was one whack. I've seen how strong Kyle Jones hits these balls, and Comito just up trying to shake that off.
One of those ones where the wind gets knocked out of you here in the 76th. Smachenko now for Polisi. Escobar looking forward. McMillan flicks it on. Edwardson, some space here for TSS. Edwardson trying to get his shot off. It's blocked, and now it's back for Alessandro Comita. Right to Segawa's feet, though. Finds Kyle Jones. Smachenko now for Gabe Escobar. Lovely move from Escobar to the outside. Escobar clips it in for Edwardson now, who's kind of gone to a striker role. Polisi nods it down. Alessandro now finding Rinaldi. Look at the pace on the outside by Khalil Dos Santos. Flying tackle from Smachenko. Fairly won the ball there.
Yeah.
With the big center back.
Great tackle there from the big Ukrainian, and he had to make sure he got to that and got there fairly. It's the sun hitting off the bleachers in a horrible position right now for us up here in the commentary booth.
Rosenlund, lovely teasing ball away by Escobar. Marcus Scott might have a go from distance. He will, and that one's going to go wide to the left of Justin Sendu's net here. Takes his sweet time with this goal kick.
Ambitious there from Rivers, but it's a nice delivery again from Rosenlund. He sent a couple of good balls into the box with no takers this afternoon.
Here's Dylan. Smachenko for Dylan now. Segawa to his right. Ahead from McMillan. Nicely controlled there. And now Matteo Polisi for TSS. Watched closely by Rinaldi. Plays into the path of Edwardson. Little step over on Rosenlund.
Forgot to take the ball with him, sadly, that time though.
There comes Mikkel Rosenlund. And now Dylan Hooper shoves Segawa on a throw in here for Rivers. Not out of this game. Wouldn't look at last week's game against Unity. 7-0 loss to the hands of the Langley side and think that this game would be the way it is. 2-1, tightly contested affair.
Didn't get a chance to watch that game before this. Only got the footage this morning. But I would like to watch that game back and see just what happened to Rivers in that game, because you're looking at this team out there today and you're like, how did this team give up 7 goals?
Compact for sure.
Definitely seems like an outlier from the results.
Polisi heavily tailed by Finn Marshall.
Doing so well to keep hold of it though.
Dylan. Segawa on the turn here. Nicely done to keep it just inside the line. Tidally through for Eric Edwardson. And out of play off of Elijah Dos Santos. Another Rovers corner. 8th of the game here in the 80th minute. 2-1 TSS lead. Still lots of time left as they warm up. Late sub here to Rivers FC and Ethan Furlong. Kyle Jones to take the corner kick. Rovers would love to get a third here, wouldn't they? Kyle Jones towards the 6, up past Edwardson. Edwardson again puts it over. Skies it from 6 yards, this Edwardson. He's going to want that one back, looking for his 5th of the year.
Yeah, I think he knows he should have buried that. He had 2 bites of the cherry there. Just missed the header, then it bounced around, fell so invitingly for him. 6 yards out, blasts it high and over, and Rivers breathe a sigh of relief again. But TSS right back on it. Edwardson chipping this ball forward, looking for McMillan. But Jumo out quickly to collect that one. Still feel there's another goal on this one. We did say that about the women's game after the 9, but we were proved incorrect.
And
I think we've just been selfish by that point.
yeah.
And it's Rinaldi that is making way. He was one of the ones we pegged. May have picked up a second yellow, but
Denzel Marican checks in here. Throw in for Fugo Sagawa. Up towards Adzani, knocks it down, looking for Edwardson. The help out there was Polisi, shoves his opposite 10, Alessandro Comita. Now Paredes forward for Finn Marshall. It's been pretty quiet since coming on. The 2-goal man this year for Kamloops side. Is that one clipped in for Rosenlund, retreating is Dylan. And now here's Fugo Sagawa.
just lets that run out in front of the Rivers banners that their supporters have brought with them all the way from Kamloops. It's one of the things I love about this league is the fact you can get away supporters to these games and you can get to so many games for your sides. Maybe a bit more difficult if you're one of the Kamloops or Island teams, but for those in the lower mainland, you can get out and support your team and see them in the away games as well as the home games. And for me, that's always what football's been about. It builds those communities. It builds that culture. That's something that League One has managed to do so well in various areas here.
As emphasized by the Swangardians at Kenwood's Field last week, had a charcuterie board
they
at
did.
Kenwood's Field. They were celebrating, having fun there at Point Grey campus, UBC.
They were getting hassled by the parents of some of the Whitecaps players for their rowdy antics. They pointed out this is what a crowd looks like.
Adzani now off to the races, looks for Edwardson. A towering ball comes to McMillan. Back heel for Edwardson, beautifully done. Edwardson for Polisi. And a foul there by Polisi on Dos Santos.
Hands everywhere from Polisi there.
Jumeau taking a free kick here as he throws the ball a few yards after where the foul was spotted. Plays it short for Elijah Dos Santos. Lifted ball right to the feet of Dylan for Sagawa. Like the play those two have when they're on the pitch together. You see how deep this Rovers team, and you take off a guy like the C. Baines, he might not have gotten the minutes or starts this year, and you bring on a guy like Sagawa to have him on your bench. Just incredible.
I mean, for me, Sagawa is one of the unsung heroes for TSS as he sets a beautiful ball out here to Edwardson.
Mejia was in space. Edwardson gets the ball and triggers it into the middle and headed away by Dos Santos. Mejia was screaming for it.
I think that was the wrong decision there from Sagawa.
Mejia wants more, doesn't he?
He still wants that. He definitely feels he can get more, wanted to get more.
3 goals his last 3 games, Ivan Mejia, including 3 in the last 2 at home. As the Jones over to take the corner here.
Foggy82 in the stream says, away days are the best days. Rivers maybe not feeling that right now this afternoon.
Corner kick from Jones towards the back stick. Adzani towering up. Might fall for Smichenko. Adzani with a scissor kick there. Why not? With his frame. And it was held by Jumeau.
I don't know how many mirrors Adzani has broken in the build-up to this game, but he's just not had the luck of the green out there at all. But he is getting in the right positions, and that's, as a striker, all you can ask to really do, aside from put the ball in the back of the net.
Rosenlund, nice flick on for Hooper. Beautiful move here. Hooper whips it in. And that ball wide in behind Sandu. Goal kick.
I think the cherry on the top of the cake for TSS this afternoon would be if they can get Adeniyi off the mark in the last 5 minutes here. Don't think there's going to be a ton of time added on. As Dillon looks to bring this one out. Lovely long ball forward, looking for Mejia, but DeSantis knocks it down to Kamita. Out to Hooper, plays a nice little give and go there, back to Kamita, who flicks it beautifully there over the head of Dillon. Tries to curl one in the top corner and had to be dealt with there by Sandu.
Wow. What a curling effort. The angle didn't favour him at all.
Whoa, what an effort that was from Alessandro Kamita.
Jones back for Smichenko here.
The little flick from him as well, though, over the head of Dillon was quite special.
Jones now trying to find it out wide for Sagawa, finding Tyler Dillon.
Kamita is a Kamloops lad. I would have loved him to have maybe signed with UBC, but it's been a good pickup by the Wolfpack.
Adeniyi on a bounce through. Knocked back by Khalil Dos Santos for Jumo. Collected by Edwardson on the left side for McMillan in some pocket of space here. Adeniyi running through. McMillan finds him. Keji Adeniyi lays it off. Polisi! Saved by Jumo. Maybe one pass too many there. And now away come Rivers FC.
Again, good unselfish play there from Adeniyi, but the power just not on that one from Polisi. Nice movement though from TSS, but Rivers straight back at it here.
Hooper between the legs, ball for Sagawa. Back for Hooper. Controlled nicely by Marshall, but again Sagawa forces a turnover. McMillan, beautiful ball for Mejia off to the races here at TSS. Adeniyi running through. Mejia doesn't like the space he was in, so decided to go back to the far side for Gabe Escobar.
I think that was the right decision because Adeniyi, all he could really do was be forced to the corner there.
Escobar from Edwardson. Rovers looking for 3 here. Goal differential at a premium in this League 1 BC season. As Escobar keeps running to the outside. And away there by Marcus Scott, I believe it was, at the end of it.
I mean, the goal differential could be absolutely massive. There's staggeringly 3 points separating the top 7 just now going into this weekend's matches in League 1 BC. Every point is a prisoner right now. Every goal could really have a part to play. Top 4 make the post-season playoffs. The winner of the regular season heads off to the Canadian Championship. TSS have had the taste of that and they're wanting more. As McMillan plays this one out now to Escobar.
Escobar left-footed ball and a beautiful ball for Adeniyi, back up in the air just wide there to the right of Jumo. And the 88th. And a double sub here, Kian Proctor. At least I thought he was coming in, might not here.
The board did go up.
It was for
TSS Rovers' substitution.
McMillan, who's going to come off here. Give that cameraman to Polisi.
Number 12, Grant Verhoeven.
As Verhoeven comes in.
Grant Verhoeven coming on. Proctor is warming up. You have to think it's probably going to be for Adeniyi.
Good shift. McMillan still goalless this season. But it doesn't obviously show what kind of player he is. It is a lot more than just score goals. Good leadership, technical ability as well.
No assists registered either for McMillan going into this game. That's not at all to say that he's had a bad season because he's been very key out there. The assists as well that we talk about in the broadcast, just to mention, they're not the official assists. The league are not keeping official assists this year. These are the AFTN unofficial assists from meticulously going through all the game footage, which is quite difficult with some of the footage and the quality of it. So we're not doing second assists, we're only doing first assists, which for a couple of the goals I felt really bad about because there's been some fantastic second assists that we could have given.
Verhoeven now for Adeniyi. Adeniyi keeps going for TSS. Look at the pace. Keji Adeniyi all the way through. Back for Mejia and away there.
He was caught from behind there. I was waiting to see. I thought the referee was just playing advantage and would then have called it back, but he hasn't. Definitely got clipped on his heels as he went to have the shot there.
Polisi for Kyle Jones. Now Grant Verhoeven. Let it go out wide here for Ivan Mejia. Mejia back across. Eric Edwardson on the scissor kick. What a beauty! Eric Edwardson, an incredible goal. Rovers lead by 2. It's 3-1. What a day.
Wow, what a finish by Eric Edwardson. Hits it off the ground, it bounces, and it bounces over the head of the Rivers keeper. Do you know what? It's a 3-1 win for TSS as things currently stand. 90th minute goal for Eric Edwardson, his second of the match, his 5th of the season. Rovers in dreamland. The Swangardians dig out the smoke. It's a good Saturday night at Swangard.
What a take from Edwardson. The angle didn't favor him, and I thought he was going to take it full on. He did take it full on. It did bounce, and Jumeau was bested from about 8 yards out. And what a ball from Mejia as well. Goodness me.
Oh, yes. I mean, fantastic stuff. As the camera appears to have gone off. I don't know why I'm talking, because you can't hear me because the camera's gone off, but...
TSS Rovers goal scored in the 90th minute by number 11, Eric Edwardson.
Well played for Hooper.
I think we had a little bit of technical difficulties there. It's hard to tell. The camera went blank, but the stream seemed to still be up and running.
That one over the head of Alessandro Comita there.
Captured the goal. That's all that really matters.
Your TSS Rovers leading the game number 2, Keji.
You thought we were done for the day? No, we're not.
I said it felt like another goal on this, and a broken clock is right twice a day.
Yep. Edwardson's 5th of the season, 5th in 6 games. What else can you say about the man, the myth, Double E, who led the league in goals last year? Certainly heading towards that again.
Got a great little wooden plate that was engraved for his Golden Boot win, arranged by TSS and the Swangardians. No official award given by the league to the Golden Boot winners.
Mejia, look at him go. Mejia, beautifully done. Mejia through 2 Rivers players. And the third time
Dance, Ivan, dance.
Jones, now Polisi. Edwardson to his left. That's where Polisi goes. Try to find Proctor. Now found Escobar. Escobar will have a go. And maybe a bit too aggressive there was Gabe Escobar. Four minutes of added time. We're already into about 2 of that. Escobar. Back for Justin Sandu. Now Tyler Dillon. Verhoeven for Fugo Sagawa. Now Verhoeven in midfield. Tidally finding Polisi. Now Kian Proctor. Back for Polisi. Overran the ball now. Rivers off to the races here. Paredes finding Finn Marshall. Rinaldi, how to play. Throwing coming up for Escobar. Proctor for Edwardson now. Mejia in space. Edwardson overran there. Pull back at Finn Marshall.
Oh, and Edwardson was running through there. I think he had another hat-trick in his sight, and quite unnecessary stuff there from Rivers, and it's all getting a little bit chippy out there.
Yellow card for Edwardson, his 2nd of this season.
I don't know that went to Edwardson. I thought it had more gone for the reaction of Paredes.
Edwardson will run away from that one unscathed.
If Jan Paredes got away with that without having a yellow card, I would have been amazed, because obviously just the frustrations boiling over. It had been such a good start for Rivers this afternoon, and they've let this one get away from them. TSS slow really to begin this, then they turned the pressure up. Few good performances out there for Rivers as the ball sent deep into the TSS box. Just runs past Dylan Hooper, who was the guy that I was going to say for me is the AFTN player of the game for Rivers. For TSS, I was going to say Ivan Mejia. Eric Edwardson's double, though, maybe gets the nod for him. Mejia does have the assist, though, on that second goal.
Corner kick from Dylan Hooper towards the back post. It's a good one. Sagawa fouled this man there, I thought maybe, but that'll be full time at Swangard. Another 3 points for the Rovers here as they continue to climb the table. Domenico Comita scored in the 11th for Rivers. And then in the 31st, Ivan Mejia with the goal, 31st for TSS. Second half, 51st, it was Edwardson. And then the 90th, Edwardson with the peach. 3 beautiful goals for TSS in their own right. And a 3-1 win here over Rivers FC.
Yeah, a much needed win for TSS. After that defeat to the Whitecaps last week, they had to win this one. They've got 2 games coming up with Altitude that I also feel have to be put in the must-win category, because TSS not just looking for top 4, not just looking for the playoffs, they're looking to top the regular season standings, as we keep saying, to get back to the Canadian Championship. Wasn't a perfect outing this afternoon. They only really found their feet about 20 minutes in, but once they found it, they put on a show. We hope you've enjoyed it at home. The fans here at Swangard have. It's been a fantastic afternoon here at Swangard. Getting 2 great games. Whoa, 13 goals between them.
Yep. And it happens again next Sunday in the first installment of the Ironworkers Derby on TELUS. It's a feature match. Katie Hamilton will have the call the first game, the women's game. I'll have the call for you for the second game. Excited to share that with everybody at home. And those ones get going next Sunday here at Swangard against Altitude FC. Rovers win their second to last 3 at home and continue to play strong here at Swangard. 2 more home games to go. Your final, Rovers 3, Rivers 1.